Hi there, it's Jackie from Cambridge Safety. Welcome to one of my Take 5 videos. So just take 5 minutes for one aspect of workplace health and safety. And this time we're doing a health issue because we're looking at the HSE's stress management standards. So before you think about implementing and working with the stress management standards, think about making sure you've got some senior management commitment. If they believe health and safety is a load of rubbish and stress doesn't exist and all these types of things, then it's not going to work. So we want some senior management commitment from then employees will follow. Don't just develop things and then talk to employees about it. Let's involve them as part of the process. We need to also, even though this is about stress and there's no specific legal regulation that covers stress, it's covered by the Health and Safety at Work Act. I'm responsible for your health, safety and welfare. It's covered by the Management of Health and Safety at Work regs because I'm required to do suitable and sufficient risk assessments. So make sure we know what our legal duties are. If we've got any risk assessments, have they highlighted any issues which could come under the stress umbrella? Have a clear understanding of what stress is, more importantly, what it isn't. It's the body's natural reaction to change and things like that. And it can affect different people in different ways. It's not an illness. So there's possibly a variety of causes. These might be within the organisation, but there may be some things outside of the company which are having an impact on people. So don't ignore the obvious. It could be working patterns. It could be the fact that people aren't able to park at work. These types of things. So think practical. We're going to have a look, as I say, at the HSE stress management standards, and equally some of the topics that cause stress might then be dealt with outside of health and safety, because everything, sometimes people may try to make it a health and safety issue, but sometimes it's not. Okay, a happy worker is a productive worker. That's what we're trying to do. Make sure that we're helping and supporting people as much as possible. Okay, so we have 6 HSE stress management standards. These are not approved codes of practice or guidance, they're just standards, but they're good. If you get the document from the HSE's website, it will tell you a little bit about what contributes to stress under each of these headings, but we're going to focus on not what contributes to the stress, but the practical things that we as employers can do under each of the headings. So demands, unrealistic demands puts us under pressure. So let's just make sure that our targets, objectives are clear from an organisation and individual jobs. Make sure that perhaps people have a certain amount of control over the pace of work. It's not being imposed upon them. Let's say you've got to answer X number of telephone calls, or you have to deal with a telephone call within a certain time frame. Things like multitasking, improving office layout. So, people having a desk as opposed to hot desking, a desk where they can personalise and move things around that suits them. These are just a few things that are under the heading of demands. Then we've got control. If we don't feel in control of something, then that can be particularly stressful. So things like flexible working, flexible start times, home working, involving people in problem solving, involving people in finding solutions, flexible working hours or changing people's working hours, and involve people in those shift patterns when we're deciding what they're going to be, and perhaps predicting what people's shifts are, not changing it literally one day and then texting somebody to say that their shift is changing tomorrow. That's control. We've got role and role clarification. We like to think that people are clear about their role, but that isn't the case. And what your manager's idea of what your role is and what your idea might be different. So we need effective selection and promotion systems. We need career progression, mentoring systems, team building, but also clear job descriptions, personal specifications to make sure, we're clear about what this job role is. That also could link to our health and safety policy. The organisation section of the health and safety policy tries to clarify in health and safety terms who is responsible for what, so that we're all aware and we're not all thinking it's everybody else's responsibility, but not mine. Providing support. We all need a little bit of support. So it could be work-life balance, team working, so that we can, situations where we can contact colleagues. Equally, particularly important if you're working from home, still having access to talk to other people. Make sure we've got a supportive management structure so people feel open, they can actually ask us and say if they've got any issues. So this non-aggressive management style, not a blame culture, a just culture. Making sure people are provided with the information they need. If people are on the telephone trying to deal with problems, if they haven't got access to the information to help solve that problem, that causes an issue for them. Wellbeing policies, occupational health and safety, occupational health, health surveillance, some form of open door policy where people can go and talk and raise concerns if they have them. Also, though, developing people, making sure we give them training, equipment provision. Actually, to do your job, you need to have the right tools and equipment. If you don't, you're not being supported. So resources, these types of things. But also giving feedback. So not criticism, but we can all improve. So giving people feedback that's useful, that helps us improve our job performance, but also can put our mind at rest that we are actually doing the right thing. If people mix outside of the workplace, that might be going for a walk, it could be playing football, whatever. These sorts of things encourage that, build up relationships at work, and people then support each other. It sets informal support networks as well, rather than just the formal ones that were in the organisation. We've got change now. Some people, don't like change as soon as you get the word change out. But if we, the nature of life, the pace of change at the moment is absolutely massive. So it's about good and effective early communication, making it clear what is happening, what's equally not happening. Involve the staff in what's happening so they can be involved in their own destiny. It might be focus groups looking at particular issues. If there is any change that's being carried out, make sure we explain why. We're not just doing it on a whim. Give ourselves realistic timescales. Don't say next week if next week is not realistic. And you might do trials, do one little bit of change or do one procedure change rather than trying to do them all. Get some feedback, make sure it works, then move on to the next one. You can take people with you that way. Lastly, work relationships. So thinking about our relationships with managers, we might have policies and procedures to deal with things when they don't go well. So bullying, harassment, grievance, etc. Having a just culture, people seeing things are fair. And in some cases, it's not what you're doing is right or wrong, but is it consistent? Is it fair for everybody, wherever they are in the organisation, at whatever level? Making sure managers, their behaviour is acceptable as well, and they're not actually the cause of the stress. They may be having a key role in identifying if people are struggling and seeing what they can do about it. And equally, they may also be involved in rehabilitation, bringing people back. What can we do? Can we change their job role? Can we improve some training? These types of things. So this is a short potted tour for the health and safety executives stress management standards. And all the things that we've talked about there's probably nothing deep and meaningful. All of it is actually just good management, not good health and safety management, just good management. So lots of resources on the HSE website that you can download with real examples to help you improve your management of stress and just improve the management of your organisation. So thanks very much for watching. It's Jackie from Cambridge Safety, www.cambridgesafety.co.uk. Thanks for watching.